The deep space around the small blue planet was calm, silent, and empty. But inside the alien exploration ship Verond 6, nothing felt normal. The ship sensors had picked up a strange repeating signal from the planet called Earth, and the crew could not understand how a young world could send such a powerful message. Commander Rylak stood in the center of the control room, his silver eyes fixed on the glowing screen. He was a calm leader, a scientist by nature, and he had seen many planets in his life. But this signal made even him uneasy. The signal was not noise. It was not random. It carried structure, patterns, and something even more surprising, emotion. The crew had decoded a part of it, and the first sentence they heard shocked every alien on the ship. "This is Earth. NASA transmission. No world that young should have reached this level of communication. No species should grow this fast in such a short time." Rylak felt a cold tension inside his chest. Something about this planet was different. The young analyst, Sira, looked up from her station. Her voice trembled as she reported the results of the deeper scan. Earth was full of life, full of movement, full of conflict, and full of strange beauty. But the timeline was the real shock. Humans had risen from primitive tools to machines in the sky in only a few thousand years. That speed was impossible. Other species took hundreds of thousands of years to pass through early stages, but humans sprinted through history as if something pushed them forward. Rylak ordered the ship to move closer, slowly and quietly. The scan changed. They could now see human cities, bright, chaotic, loud, full of energy. They saw humans working, fighting, laughing, learning. They saw art and war, kindness and destruction. Humans were emotional creatures, but those emotions also made them strong. Their technology was not the most advanced in the galaxy, but their progress rate was terrifying. The alien crew began to whisper among themselves. One said humans looked fragile, but somehow survived everything thrown at them. Another said humans reminded him of ancient myths told to young children, stories of beings who refused to die no matter what happened. A third alien watched footage of human history and whispered, almost afraid, "They adapt. They always adapt." Rylak raised a hand and commanded silence. He needed to stay calm, but inside his mind a strange fear grew. If this species kept developing at the same speed, what would they become in 1,000 years? Or 100? Or even 50? The galaxy had seen powerful worlds, warrior races, and peaceful giants, but it had never seen a species evolve this fast. Humans were a mystery wrapped in danger. As the Verond 6 moved into the shadow of the moon, a new alarm rang through the ship. Sira's fingers flew across the controls, her face filling with confusion. "Commander, something is approaching us." Rylak stepped forward. "An Earthship?" he asked, but Sira shook her head quickly. "No, Commander. Humans do not have this type of technology." The screen lit up. An object was moving through space with precision. It was small, metallic, and fast. Humans did not have the ability to guide objects with such accuracy, not at this distance. But the readings did not lie. The object was turning, adjusting its path, heading toward the Verond 6. The aliens stared in silence as the impossible happened right in front of them. Rylak's heart beat faster. He ordered the object to be magnified. The screen zoomed in. It was a human probe, old and simple, but moving with a new trajectory that humans could not have programmed. Something had changed. Something had awakened. Either humans had technology they were hiding, or something else on Earth had learned to control the probe now. The crew panicked. "Commander, should we retreat? Is this an attack? Is this a warning?" The fear spread quickly. Rylak held up his hand again, but even he could not hide his concern. The humans had noticed them. They had reacted. And they had reached across space in a way no young species should be able to. Rylak ordered a deeper scan of the planet. What they saw next made every alien freeze. Human communication channels were full of alert signals. Governments were reacting. Scientists were reporting an unknown object near the moon. Earth had spotted the alien ship only minutes after the Verond 6 entered the area. Their detection ability was far beyond what the alien files had predicted. Rylax stared at the blue planet on the screen. He felt something he had never felt before, respect mixed with fear. Humans were unpredictable. They were emotional. They were fast learners. And if they could detect the Verond 6 this quickly, the galaxy needed to rethink everything it knew about Earth. The probe continued moving toward the alien ship, slow but steady, like a hand reaching out. Rylax did not know if it was a threat or a greeting. But one thing was clear. The humans were aware of them. They were watching. And they were ready. The first discovery of Earth was supposed to be simple. Instead, the galaxy held its breath. Something was rising on that small blue world, something powerful and dangerous, something that refused to stay quiet. Rylax whispered to himself, "This species, they will change the galaxy." The Galactic Council chamber was vast and quiet, filled with representatives from hundreds of alien species. Every delegate had heard the reports from Verond 6, and now the debate began. Commander Rylax stood at the head of the table, trying to explain the impossible speed of human evolution. Holographic images of Earth, its cities, its wars, and its technological progress floated in the air. The room buzzed with tension. One elder species, the Krylons, spoke first. "This planet is young. Its species is primitive. But their growth rate, it is faster than any we have ever recorded. If we ignore them, they may become dangerous in a century." Their eyes, deep and reflective, scanned the chamber. "We cannot risk it." Another voice, softer but firm, came from the Avari representatives. "Dangerous. Or curious. Humans have emotion, yes, but they also have creativity. They rebuild after disasters. Perhaps they are not a threat, but a chance to learn." Their wings shimmered as they moved, a sign of nervous energy. "We could study them, observe them, even teach them." The debate grew heated. Some argued for preemptive control, or even elimination, fearing what humans might become. Others warned against underestimating a species that adapted so quickly. Rylax listened, feeling a strange mix of anxiety and fascination. Humans were like a spark in a dark forest, small, fragile, yet able to ignite everything around them. Meanwhile, the humans on Earth were not idle. The unusual signals and movements in space had triggered emergency protocols. Scientists and military teams scrambled to understand the unknown object approaching the moon. Messages were sent to all agencies, and deep space radar systems began to scan for unusual activity. Humans were curious, cautious, but not afraid. Their instinct was always to explore first, fight only if necessary. The alien observers watched in surprise. Humans were working together despite chaos, analyzing data, sharing information, and making decisions at incredible speed. It was unlike any other species in the galaxy. The humans had no knowledge of most galactic civilizations, yet they were adapting, learning, and preparing in real time. Back in the council chamber, Rylax's voice rose above the argument. "We must decide quickly. They are young, but fast learners. If we approach them too late, they may already know enough to defend themselves. If we approach too aggressively, they may see us as enemies." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. "The humans are unpredictable. That is both their strength and their risk." A younger delegate, representing a small but highly intelligent species, whispered, "They are not just a risk, they are a question. A question no one in the galaxy has ever faced before." The chamber fell silent for a moment, realizing the truth. Humans were not like any species they had catalogued. They did not follow the patterns, the timelines, or the limitations of evolution that everyone else obeyed. The council finally reached a tentative conclusion. A small team would be sent for first contact, to observe humans carefully, and to decide whether to integrate, monitor, or contain them. The decision was delicate, because any misstep could trigger fear or hostility. But every delegate understood one thing clearly: Earth could not be ignored. On Earth, the emergency response team had launched small reconnaissance crafts to track the unknown object. The alien ship's position was confirmed near the moon, and the humans felt both awe and caution. Their computers struggled to analyze the alien technology, but the team relied on instinct, ingenuity, and teamwork, the traits humans had relied on for centuries. The aliens had underestimated the humans' ability to act fast, to learn quickly, and to think creatively under pressure. The humans, in turn, were about to meet a species far older and more advanced than they had ever imagined. Both sides were cautious, curious, and aware that this first encounter could define the future of Earth and perhaps the entire galaxy. Commander Rylak returned to Veron 6, staring at the blue planet below. "Prepare for first contact," he said. "And remember, we are not the hunters here. This species may be hunting knowledge as we are, and they may already be faster than we expect." The humans, unaware of the Galactic Council, continued their preparations, scanning, learning, and readying themselves for the unknown. Neither side knew what the other would do first. But the stage was set, and the first encounter between humanity and the galaxy was only hours away. In that moment, both humans and aliens realized the truth. The galaxy would never be the same again. The humans moved cautiously, but with determination. Their reconnaissance ships hovered near the moon, sensors scanning the strange alien craft. Scientists whispered theories about its size, energy source, and movements. Military officers prepared defense protocols, unsure whether the ship was a threat or simply curious. The AI observer, a sleek, intelligent system named Athena, analyzed the alien signals in real time, translating patterns and predicting movements. On the Veron 6, Commander Rylak watched the humans' activity with increasing astonishment. The humans were not panicking. They were not hiding. Instead, they adapted to the unknown, creating solutions as if the situation had been expected all along. This reaction was unprecedented in the galaxy. Normally, a young species would either retreat or attack blindly, but humans studied, learned, and moved forward. Sira, the analyst, pointed to a screen. "Commander, they're attempting communication. Using our frequencies, but adjusted to their primitive understanding." Rylak leaned closer. A message appeared on the monitor, written in English. "We see you. Identify yourself." The simplicity and directness shocked the alien crew. Humans had detected them and sent a message without fear, without hesitation. "They are fast learners," muttered one alien engineer. "And bold," added another. Rylak debated internally. Should they respond? Could they risk revealing themselves to a species so young yet so capable? But before he could decide, the human team activated a secondary system, a deep space probe linked to a satellite network. The probe moved with calculated precision, adjusting its trajectory to observe the alien ship from multiple angles. Humans were not just observing, they were testing, learning, and preparing. The alien crew whispered among themselves. This species was unpredictable. They were not reckless, but they were not naive either. Every action was deliberate, every movement a form of analysis. And the more the aliens watched, the more respect and fear they felt. Humans were capable of growth beyond anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. Rylak finally spoke, his voice firm. "We must respond. But cautiously. Let them know we are observers, not aggressors. But do not underestimate them." The crew prepared a calm, simple message. It was not a threat, nor an invitation, just acknowledgement. "We see you, too. We observe. Do not approach recklessly." On Earth, the message arrived as a strange pattern of lights and vibrations, quickly decoded by Athena and the human team. No one panicked. Instead, they analyzed it, learning from it, understanding the alien communication structure. Within minutes, a response was ready, a greeting in simple terms, combining their knowledge of mathematics, light signals, and sound. The message reflected caution, curiosity, and intelligence, all traits that defined humanity. The aliens watched in amazement as the humans' message reached them. The simplicity, clarity, and speed of comprehension were unlike anything they had encountered. Rylak could see it clearly now. Humans were not just fast learners, they were adaptable in ways the galaxy could not predict. Suddenly, the probe changed course again, this time moving closer to Varond 6 without losing any observational capability. It was a risk, but humans were willing to take it. They were showing both confidence and curiosity, and the aliens realized a chilling truth. If humans continued to grow at this pace, they could soon understand and manipulate technologies far beyond their current level. Rylak's crew fell silent. Even the youngest members, usually eager and confident, felt a strange unease. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were clever. And humans were growing stronger with every passing moment. The galaxy had expected a fragile, primitive species, but what it had found instead was a young world capable of defying expectation at every turn. The first contact was no longer just a possibility, it was inevitable. Humans and aliens were moving toward each other, guided by curiosity, intelligence, and a cautious respect. Both sides understood that mistakes could be dangerous. Yet, despite the tension, a sense of wonder filled the air. Commander Rylak turned to Sira. Prepare the observation protocols. Maintain distance but learn everything. The humans may be small, but they are unlike any species we have encountered. Remember this first encounter will define how the galaxy sees Earth for centuries. On the lunar surface, humans continued their preparations, unaware of the full attention they had attracted. Their instincts, intelligence, and teamwork would soon be tested against a species that had ruled the stars for millennia. Both humans and aliens were about to step into history, and the galaxy watched silently, holding its breath, as Earth prepared to reveal its true potential. The day of the first meeting arrived, and the tension in space was thick. The humans' small ships hovered near the moon, their sensors active, systems humming quietly. Inside the Varond 6, Commander Rylak reviewed the final protocols. Every movement, every gesture, every transmission had to be calculated. One wrong signal, one sudden action, and the fragile first contact could collapse into disaster. The humans moved carefully, but with confidence. They had learned quickly from every signal, every probe movement, and every observation. Their ships were smaller, less powerful, and slower, yet they maneuvered with intelligence, adjusting position and speed to avoid sudden surprises. Commander Rylak could not help but notice their coordination. No other young species had ever operated with such synchronicity under stress. The aliens opened communication channels. A clear, calm voice emerged from the Varond 6, speaking in a mixture of universal mathematical codes and slow, simple English. We are Varond 6. Observers. We mean no harm. Approach slowly. The humans responded almost immediately, in carefully chosen words. We see you. We mean no harm. We want to understand. The message was short, clear, and respectful, but it carried something the aliens did not expect: confidence. Humans were not begging for safety. They were asserting presence. A smaller shuttle from the human fleet moved forward, carrying a representative team. They wore protective suits and carried scanning devices, but their posture showed courage rather than fear. Commander Rylak watched carefully as the shuttle docked near the Varond 6. The aliens opened the outer airlock, and the human small team floated in, tethered but steady. The room inside Varond 6 was vast and alien, with controls, displays, and lights that pulsed like living things. The humans scanned everything, their eyes wide but focused. Commander Rylak stepped forward, his expression neutral. He expected fear, hesitation, perhaps even panic, but he saw none. Instead, the humans observed, learned, and adapted instantly to the strange environment. One human scientist spoke. We have studied signals and patterns. Your technology is complex. We seek to understand, not destroy. Commander Rylak was impressed. Their understanding was rapid, precise, almost unervingly fast for such a young species. Then something happened that stunned everyone. A human linguist began speaking directly in the alien language. Words that the crew had assumed would take weeks to teach were spoken fluently, with correct tones and pronunciation. Commander Rylak's heart sank slightly. No species had ever learned their language this fast. Humans were not just fast learners, they were exceptional. The alien crew exchanged uneasy glances. A quiet tension filled the room. Humans, small and seemingly fragile, had revealed a strength that no one had predicted. Commander Rylak understood it now. Humans were dangerous, not because they attacked, but because they learned, adapted, and understood with astonishing speed. One of the human officers smiled, sensing the tension. "We come in peace. But we are aware. We can learn quickly. And we will survive." The words were simple, yet they carried weight. The aliens realized that this species, despite its youth, possessed a core strength that no weapon, no strategy, and no galaxy rule could easily contain. Commander Rylak stepped back and motioned to his crew. Observation was no longer enough. They had to understand humans completely, or risk misjudging a species that could shape the future of the galaxy. Humans, for their part, continued to study the alien ship, scanning, noting, learning, and adapting, ready for anything the universe might throw at them. The first meeting ended with a mutual understanding, cautious but respectful. Both sides knew that this encounter was only the beginning. Humans had shown their potential in hours, and the aliens had seen that the galaxy had underestimated them. The first contact was not a victory, nor a defeat, it was the start of a story that would ripple across the stars. As the humans returned to their small ships, Commander Rylak whispered to his officers, "They are not just young. They are rapid. They are clever. And we have only begun to understand them. The galaxy will never see Earth the same way again." Outside, the moon glowed softly, a silent witness to the beginning of a new chapter, one where humans and aliens would meet, learn, and perhaps change the fate of the stars forever. The Varan, 6 crew could not stop themselves from exploring the humans' history. They accessed records, videos, and transmissions, watching centuries of human struggle and survival. The more they learned, the more respect and unease they felt. Humans had endured disasters that would have ended most civilizations. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, plagues, wars, and even the threat of nuclear annihilation had come and gone, yet humanity had always rebuilt, stronger than before. The aliens saw humans create great cities from ruins, develop new technologies after defeat, and come together in moments of crisis. They witnessed the creativity and determination that had allowed humans to explore space, even while remaining a young species. One crew member whispered, "They are fragile, yet unbreakable. How is this possible?" Commander Rylak pondered the same thought. Humans were emotional, impulsive, and unpredictable, yet those same traits had given them resilience. They learned from every mistake, adapted to every challenge, and sometimes even turned disaster into advantage. The galaxy had never seen a species that thrived on struggle instead of succumbing to it. The crew also observed humans' social bonds. Families, communities, nations, humans were united by more than survival. They had empathy, loyalty, and courage. Even in war, humans had often found ways to cooperate, to rebuild trust, and to create alliances that lasted generations. This combination of intelligence, emotion, and adaptability made humans a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Syrah turned to Commander Rylak, her voice low and tense. "They are not just strong. They are unstoppable. Every time they fall, they rise faster and smarter." The room was silent as the words sank in. Rylak nodded slowly. He realized that the danger was not aggression, it was humanity's very nature. They would survive. They would adapt. And they would grow beyond expectation. The aliens had also noted the human drive for exploration. Humans had sent probes across the solar system, placed telescopes in orbit, and even landed on other worlds. They sought knowledge relentlessly, never content with what they already knew. This hunger for understanding, combined with their resilience, made them unpredictable and potentially dangerous on a galactic scale. Even more shocking, humans were already beginning to test their own defenses against the unknown. Satellites, deep space radars, and rapid communication networks allowed them to detect approaching objects long before they could reach Earth. They reacted intelligently, learning in real time, coordinating systems, and predicting outcomes. The Varan 6 crew realized that humanity's potential was already far beyond what their records suggested. Commander Rylak called the crew together. "The galaxy has always underestimated young species," he said. "We thought humans were fragile, slow, and limited. But they are none of these things. They are clever, fast learners, and above all, they survive. They survive everything. And that is why we must be careful. They are not our children to guide, they are our equals to watch, and perhaps, our warning for the future." The realization settled heavily over the ship. Humans were no longer a curiosity. They were a force in their own right. The Varan 6 had come to observe, to learn, to decide if Earth should be contacted carefully or contained. Now, they understood the truth. Humans were capable of far more than anyone had anticipated. Outside, Earth spun quietly beneath them, unaware that the galaxy was watching, judging, and learning. The humans were small in comparison to the stars, yet their spirit radiated like the sun. The Varan 6 crew felt it clearly. The galaxy would have to rethink everything it knew about this small blue world. Humanity was no longer just a young species, they were a revelation. Rylak whispered to himself, staring at the glowing cities, the oceans, and the storms below, "They will not just survive, they will change everything." The crew nodded silently. The galaxy had been shocked, but humanity's story was only beginning. And from this moment on, every alien who knew of Earth would hold its breath, wondering what humans would do next. The calm in the galaxy did not last long. News of Earth's discovery spread faster than the Varan 6 could anticipate. A powerful and aggressive species, the Drakari, learned of the humans and immediately saw them as a threat. In their view, any species that could adapt and survive so quickly could one day challenge them, and they would not allow that. A fleet of massive warships mobilized, moving silently through space, heading for the small blue planet. The Galactic Council was thrown into panic. The Varan 6 crew sent urgent messages, warning of the approaching threat. Humans, for their part, detected unusual energy signatures approaching the solar system. They activated emergency protocols, coordinating satellites, defense grids, and planetary shields. Scientists worked tirelessly, military officers prepared contingency plans, and the AI system Athena analyzed every potential scenario. Earth's defenders were not just reacting, they were learning. Every incoming signal from the Drakari fleet was tracked, every pattern analyzed, every potential attack predicted. Humans were small and young, but their ability to understand, adapt, and respond was already impressive. The Varan 6 crew watched in awe as humans prepared for a threat far beyond their current technology, improvising strategies and building defenses at a pace no other species could match. The Drakari fleet arrived near the moon, their massive ships casting shadows over the planet. They expected to intimidate, to strike fear into the humans, and perhaps destroy the young species before it could grow stronger. But humans were ready. The planetary defense systems, activated with perfect timing, and a network of deep space satellites formed a shield against the enemy fleet. The Varan 6 crew observed the humans' tactics. They were brilliant in simplicity, combining quick calculations, instinctive coordination, and a fearless approach. Humans sent out small, fast-moving craft that tested enemy defenses, analyzing every weakness and learning instantly from every encounter. The Drakari were taken by surprise. These humans were not running, hiding, or begging. They were calculating, adapting, and striking back intelligently. Commander Rylak realized that the humans' true strength was not their weapons, but their will. They were not trying to dominate, but they refused to be destroyed. Every loss became a lesson, every obstacle a new strategy. The Drakari, confident in their superiority, were facing an enemy they had underestimated, and it was already too late. The first clashes began near the moon. Human craft darted between enemy ships, intercepting attacks, sending signals to confuse sensors, and striking weak points. The Drakari struggled to keep up, their massive fleet unprepared for such a relentless, adaptable foe. Humans were small, yes, but in the way a storm is small before it grows into a hurricane. On the Varan 6, Rylak watched with a mix of fear and admiration. Humans were proving what the crew had suspected all along. Their survival instincts, adaptability, and intelligence made them a species unlike any other in the galaxy. "They do not fear," Syrah whispered. "They only learn. And they will not stop." As the battle continued, the humans' allies, the first contact observers from the Varond 6 and other friendly species, joined in. Together, they created a coordinated defense that overwhelmed the Drakari fleet. The once confident enemy ships were destroyed, forced to retreat, or disabled. The humans and their allies had turned the tide, not through sheer power, but through strategy, learning, and unbreakable determination. When the battle ended, Earth remained untouched, its people unaware of the full scale of what had just occurred. The galaxy, however, had seen the truth. Humanity was no longer a minor species to be observed, they were a rising force. A species that could adapt, survive, and fight with courage and intelligence. Commander Rylak spoke quietly to his crew, his voice filled with both awe and caution. "The galaxy has witnessed humanity's potential. They are not just survivors, they are shapers of their own destiny. And any species that underestimates them will pay the price." Earth spun quietly below, peaceful once more, but forever changed. Its defenders had revealed their true power, and the galaxy had finally understood that humans were not to be ignored. From that day on, Earth would be seen differently, as a species of hope, resilience, and unexpected strength, ready to face whatever the stars might throw at them. The galaxy was silent for a moment, as if holding its breath. Word of the humans' victory over the Drakari fleet spread faster than any starship could travel. Beings across countless worlds paused to consider the small blue planet that had, in a single day, shown courage, intelligence, and resilience unlike any species they had ever witnessed. Humans had survived, adapted, and fought with a strength that could not be measured in technology alone. It was in their will, their determination, and their refusal to be defeated. On Earth, people went about their lives unaware of the full battle above. Scientists continued their research, military officers adjusted defenses, and Athena, the AI, quietly analyzed the incoming data from the alien encounter. Humanity had learned much, yet they had only scratched the surface of the galaxy's mysteries. Still, the humans' capacity for learning, improvisation, and collaboration had impressed even the oldest species. The Galactic Council convened urgently after the battle. For the first time, humans were no longer a curiosity, they were a factor in galactic politics. Delegates debated what to do with Earth, knowing that this species could not be contained or underestimated. Some argued for observation, others for alliances, but all agreed on one point. Humans had proven that they were capable of surviving and thriving under pressure. The Varond 6 crew, who had been observers and first contact emissaries, reported their findings. "Humans are unlike any species we have catalogued," Commander Rylak said. "They are adaptable, resilient, and fast learners. They do not fear the unknown, they face it. And they inspire those who witness them. The galaxy must recognize their potential." As a result, a historic decision was made. Earth was officially invited to join the Galactic Union, a council of planets and civilizations dedicated to cooperation, knowledge, and peace. Humans were cautious, but the invitation was unprecedented. Never before had such a young species been offered a seat among the stars so quickly. It was a recognition not only of their intelligence and resilience, but also of the indomitable human spirit. The humans celebrated quietly, knowing that they had survived against impossible odds and earned a place in a larger universe. Yet, they remained aware of the challenges ahead. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and dangers, and humanity would need every ounce of courage, ingenuity, and determination to navigate it. The aliens, once wary of the humans, now felt a mixture of respect and awe. They had underestimated a small blue planet and its tenacious inhabitants. Humanity had changed the way the galaxy viewed life, strength, and potential. No species, no matter how advanced, could afford to dismiss the human spirit. Commander Rylak looked at Earth from the Varond 6-1 last time. "The day aliens discovered Earth," he whispered, "the galaxy learned two things, hope and fear. Hope in the human's ability to survive and thrive. Fear in knowing that such a species will shape the future of the stars. And so, the galaxy entered a new era. Humans, small but fearless, had proven that they were not just inhabitants of a single world, they were players in a universe full of possibilities, challenges, and endless wonder. The first contact had ended, but the story of humanity and the stars had only just begun. The galaxy held its breath, eager to see what this remarkable species would do next.